Oh my God. Look at my Jesus. All right, y'all. Oh, got some moderator stuff going on. So I guess I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let's see. Hello. Okay. Let me see if I can. Nope. Let's see what we can do here. All right. So hello, 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 hello. Okay. That works. Okay. So I was just making sure my microphone. I don't have my external mic hooked up today. And I'm gonna get a better camera because I don't like the way this looks. It looks very, I guess it's dark. But I was just jumping on here because we had some more recent updates, shall I say. Let me turn this back. We had some recent updates regarding the Na'ziyah Harris case. And I'm not one of these content creators that has been following from the beginning. I haven't started out. I've been listening to other content creators. Um, I've been kind of following along the case. I hear you when you hear so much, it's almost like information overload, almost to that extent. It's almost like information overload. And so it's hard to pinpoint what, like you got to go back to the beginning. I did listen to some Mark D stuff, which I haven't completely finished because when I was actually going, I was kind of doing what some of the other content creators are doing, like going back through the transcripts, going through original content when it first started. And when I first started, this past week, I was starting to listen to Mark D, right? I was listening to Mark D, and then it came out that Jarvis had took the plea deal. Now we knew this plea deal was on the table. Previous when his other preliminary hearings was coming up, and the last time he went to court, which was like January, it was either December or January, but at that time he declined it, as far as we knew. And then they said it was, I'm pretty sure that was January, and during that time frame, which was really baffling to me, is that there was no expiration date on the plea deal. Like the I thought it was really strange then, like how come they're not putting an expiration date? I feel like the prosecution team was really hoping that he would take the plea deal. They was really trying to encourage him to take this plea deal. And my thinking is, if y'all got all this evidence, all these witnesses, all these things, all these text messages, all this digital, first of all, why are you giving him a plea deal? Secondly, why are you taking off all these charges? And why isn't there an expiration date to compel him to take the plea deal? So that was really confusing to me, and it made me feel like that either he has some really good lawyers or they really didn't have compelling information. So that's neither here nor there, because he's now taken the plea deal. But it was really kind of like the timing was kind of crazy, because within the previous week that he did it, I ain't never forget. I can't remember the content creator. I think it was Miss Parker, who was saying that Shannon had a court date. Now, we didn't know what Shannon was going to court for or why she was going to court, but Shannon had some type of court date that morning. And then all of a sudden, the following week or a couple of weeks after that, Roxy Rocks comes forward and says that Shannon, she came on Facebook and said that Shannon had immunity. And we're like, what? How did she get immunity? And all these rumors start spreading around that her and Jarvis are being represented by the same lawyer firm, but Jarvis is with a public defender. And there's just all these things, all these missing pieces, and people trying to put it together. And then, like, shortly after Roxy had said something about Shannon getting this immunity for testifying against him, now all of a sudden he takes the plea deal. Now, it could have been taking a plea deal. I don't know. But there's been mediums on here saying that this man had been talking. He was giving up information, all these things. But if he was doing that, why hadn't he already taken a plea deal? And then why does it seem like as soon as they mention Shannon getting immunity that he decides to take the plea deal? Or right before trial. And it's kind of like a punch in the face. And I get it. We all want to know. We want to know what happened. We want all these people to be exposed. And this is going to be the opportunity for that stuff to come forward, to show the negligence of the police department, to show the negligence of the school, CPS, the grandmother, the mother, the father, the aunt, everybody that was involved. It was going to put them on Front Street and maybe get full and complete justice for Na'ziyah. Now, he probably wouldn't have went to jail. A lot of people are coming forward like, oh, Jarvis did this to spare Shannon. He wants the Shannon because she's the mother of his kids, and he wants her to do this and that. And he's taking a fall when he told another one of his women, I can't remember if it was a baby mama, Tashiana, if it was Angel, it was somebody that he was in their car. I think the one that he took her car. And he told her, save yourself, clean up, whatever. If he telling her to save herself, why would he be saving Shannon? Because he going to save himself. Jarvis doesn't strike me as a person who gives it about anybody, especially not Shannon. You know what I mean? He doesn't care about Shannon. He had kids by her, but he never was with her. He never proposed to her. He used her, you know. I just don't see it. I don't see him taking that type of a charge for this lady just because she has his children. The kids are taken away. The kids are already taken away. He don't care about his kids being in the system. He was doing things to his own children. He don't care nothing about how they feel. This man is not right. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like a sociopath. And a lot of people saying, oh, he was in love with Na'ziyah. He's this and that. If anything, I would give him more of it's probably like a if anything, if he took the plea, it was only for self-preservation, because it may be even a little to save his daughter, Janiyah, from testifying out in open court or coming forward, or any other daughter or any other kid or any other person for coming forward. And not only for them, like to save them for testifying for their own well-being, is really to save him from the embarrassment of all these people coming forward, because he know he's going to prison. So it's kind of like, let me kind of like I'm gonna preserve myself. I'm going to let them stop. I'm going to just take this deal. I'm going to get a bunch of years. I know I'm going to do this X, Y, and Z, but at least I don't have to stand in front of court and hear all these people, these 80-something people come in front and say, witness stuff I did, testify against me, say how much of a monster I am. And then I got to go back to this prison, and they already know what you did, but he ain't going to have to come forward, and people going to have to hear multiple of his children and people that he knew and all these women and the things he had been doing for years, right? So I think it was more like a self-preservation. It was less of Shannon or anybody else. It was more so about him and what he gonna have to go through a trial. So yeah, so that was that. But his brother came on, I can't think of the name of the guys live, and he came forward and he talked about, it was his blood brother. His name is Ian Butts. He's a younger brother, almost like 10 years younger than Jarvis. And he made it very clear that he wasn't close to him. First of all, they're not close in age. So a lot of the stuff that we would expect you to know from your brother or sister, he wasn't close enough in age for it to really matter. So like, for instance, I have a brother that is 11 years younger than me. Now, when I was 11, you know what I'm saying, he was growing up as a baby, you know what I'm saying, I knew him. My brother didn't really know me and know me how like I was as a teenager, because he's too little to remember. He might have small memories, like as a teenager, but then like when he became like 6, 7, 8 years old, I'm out of the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm with my own life and going away to college and doing things like that. So it's kind of like the same scenario. And he kind of mentioned that when Jarvis got to be like a teenager, he was on his own. He was doing his own thing, making his own life and creating all kind of chaos. And he was very clear and adamant that their home life was kind of jacked up. Their mom was in and out of their life. It was a lot of toxic stuff going on, and that Tijuana, the sister, his only sister at that, was kind of like more of a mother figure to them and his brothers. I'm not sure how many brothers it is, but I know it's at least Jarvis, another one named Akon, Ian, and then there may be one or two other more above them, but one of them have passed away, and he made it very clear that his brothers was putting paws on Jarvis. They didn't like him. They thought he was weird. Even when they got older, um, nobody hung around him. They would definitely not leave their kids with him, around him. So to me, that indicates that they know the type of person that he is, like what he went to jail for, what he's capable of doing, and things of that nature. Um, he also said that he works around kids, his sister works around kids, and he really came out not to talk about the plea deal, but he came out mainly to tell people, like, please stop attacking my sister based on the testimony that she gave, that she said that she seen Na'ziyah that day, or who she thought was Na'ziyah at the shop when she was getting her car fixed. And people want to know how she able to work with kids if she allowed that to happen. So in her testimony, Tawana said basically she was at the shop the day Na'ziyah disappeared. She noticed her getting in and out of the driver's seat of Jarvis's car, in and out, in and out. You know, it was cold that day, turning on the heat, turning all that. And then she seen her walk to the store. She went to the store, but the girl's back was to her, so she never saw her face. She never stopped her. She never asked her any questions. She just seen her, and then whatever happened, everybody went about their day. But she did ask Jarvis who she was, and he basically just told her it was King's niece, and so she let it go. And then later, she finds out that it was actually not King's niece; it was Na'ziyah, supposedly, and she was missing. And so it puts things in perspective. And so people are coming and attacking her now because they feel like, you're a mandated reporter, you work around kids, you're security. Why didn't the red flags go off and yada, yada, yada? And I feel bad if they're kind of attacking her because she came out, spoke out against them. And their brother, the younger brother, Ian, basically said, we don't mess with him. You know what I mean? If they told her to harm him in the court, she would have. Like, she doesn't feel any kind of way that Jarvis really wasn't around people like that. They really didn't um, mess with him. He came around to like funerals and maybe a family reunion, but it wasn't like a regular, like a loving relationship. They never had that. And they really don't want to talk about him. They really don't like him. But some people brought up the fact that she came to the shop for him to fix her car, a car she wanted to know, could it be driven? That was weird. Should it be driven? But you drove it there. But I don't know that he fixed it or not. I don't know if he came to grips. Some people are saying that he really wasn't a real mechanic and only like do brakes and change oils. He really didn't know how to really be a mechanic or things of that nature. I don't know. But I'm sorry. Me personally, brother or not, I don't think I could with you if you touch on little kids, and I know that's what you did. And then even if I decided in my brain, like, hey, I need you to do a favor for me and work on my car, you never would think like, okay, he over here. But it's a little girl getting in and out of your car, and you tell me it's Kingsley's, and I know this man has an MO. He's been convicted. He probably shouldn't even be around children. He has his own kids as well, and nobody ever had rung a bell about, oh my God, he has kids and this is what he does to kids. I don't know if they knew he was doing that to his own children, even before the ones with Shannon. The other kids, they were saying he was really weird and people didn't like it, and he has so many of them, and he's had children by many women who were actually underage at the time that they had babies with him. Um, but I don't know if she was like, she felt safe that if it's King's niece, he's not going to do anything. It's too many here. But me, I feel a certain kind of way. And I don't know, ladies, if you feel this way, if you feel like a certain ring of a bell, um, and it may just be because, we've been through some women have been through certain things, and you can notice things, or it's in you, or you feel it, or, things start going off. But me personally, I wouldn't feel right leaving a little girl at a shop with grown men, with boys. I remember one time, years ago, my daughter, she's grown now. She went to homecoming, and she had a date. So I fortunately I was the Uber driver. That's before we had Uber. So I was driving her and her date to and from the dance, and then they wanted to go out to, I think it was TGI Fridays. All the kids was going to TGI Fridays to eat dinner afterwards, and do all that stuff. So I was driving them. So on the way to pick her back up, one of her friends is a girl. I won't even say it's a friend. It's just a little girl that we knew, that they were friendly with. She had a date, and the date wanted her to get in the car with him and his friends. And to me, I felt like she had been drinking. And so mommy instincts popped in. Oh, no, ma'am, I'll take you home. You're not getting in the car with a group of boys. Bad things happen. Not to say, I'm going to say these boys are going to do something to her. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know their characters or anything like that. But I would want somebody to stop my daughter from doing that. And that's kind of how I feel like that may be the reason why people are attacking Tijuana, because they're saying, hey, you know who he is. You know what he's capable of doing. And this man is telling you that this is King's niece. Why isn't she not getting out of King's car? Why is she getting in Jarvis's car? And not only in his car, but in the front seat of the car. She's getting in the front seat, in and out. That don't seem odd. Like nothing is like, because I'm gonna tell you how I know that she kind of felt something. It's because she asked, who is that? Who's a little girl? Right? But she just let him tell her that. And I know now, like looking back, when she go back in her memory bank, it's probably one of the reasons why she was up there crying is partially like guilt. Because she like, you know what I mean? That she should have done something. She should have done more. But ultimately, you can't be feeling guilty about something somebody else did. But we really wish she would have stepped in, knowing that, this is the type of person that you're dealing with, right? So again, Ian Butts basically said they don't mess with him. He didn't even know. He also debunked that it was something going around that said that Jarvis had a baby at 13 by his mother's friend. And he was like, he's never heard that ever. So I don't know where that came from, if it's true or not. Maybe he's too young to understand or know, or maybe it's not a known fact. I'm not sure where people got that from. Also, he also mentioned, which a lot of people found this. I don't know how. I've never seen it, but a lot of people found out who his father was and what he looked like. And they started talking about his nationality and things of that nature. But he said he never even, this is his blood brother, half brother. He didn't even know who his father was. But content creators do. It's really bizarre, the hole in the things that people find out, right? So next, I was listening to a content creator. Oh my God, I can't think of the name. They brought up some good points. And one of the points was Na'ziyah was in the hospital, and around this time, he was looking up remedies for how to get rid of a baby and things of that nature. And she had texted him and said she was still bleeding. She was at the hospital. So some people seem to think that something happened. And supposedly, this is the time she was jumped by the girl and she landed in the hospital. This could potentially be when maybe the baby came out, maybe she had a baby, maybe it was something else. We don't know. Okay, we don't know. She looks pregnant. It came out that it was a baby. We don't know for sure. But he definitely was looking for things to get rid of one, right? And for what it seemed, it didn't seem like it was something he was trying to do that was trying to harm her. And she was also texting him and letting him know that. And a lot of spiritual people are saying it's not the first time. So believe in spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not sure if I believe some of the mediums. I feel some of them are regurgitating some of the stuff, but I don't want to like talk on people's skills, things of that nature, because I can't do it. So he talked about that, and then they were saying that maybe the reason why there's so much discrepancy about what she wore, what she had on, why is it different than the clothes that was dumped? Because what her grandmother said, she had on light blue jean pants, a light top with a hood, with the fur on the collar, and she had on a Rugrats jacket, right? And some white and blue shoes, and then they found red and blue shoes and a pink onesie and a black hoodie and all these things that didn't line up with what was said. And so they were saying, and then the teacher didn't mark her as present. So a lot of people were speculating that she never even went to school on that day, that what we're seeing is not actually her, that it wasn't that picture. I'm not sure about the timestamps. And then that's the reason why they did not report her until the next day, because she had not even went to school. And they can't tell the police that she went missing from school if she never went to school. But a lot of people are speculating that she actually came home and then went to wherever she was going to go because of the timing and things of that nature. But there was a medium I just listened to. She was speculating that she came home and that it was more about money and not more so about Jarvis and what he did to her. Something to do, with some type of a big organization. Her real mother, her grandmother, all of them were in on it, and that her grandmother made her go with somebody in a gray car, and she didn't want to go, and she wasn't supposed to be hurt, but she ended up ultimately being hurt. And they don't know where she is, but they know what happened. They know that she went, and that's kind of like why the video is kind of stating like, hopefully she's not being harmed. Like her, if you go back to her grandmother's video of the press conference and how she didn't want to come out, how they was going to arrest her, but she didn't want to speak out on camera, and they compelled her to do so. And if you listen to how she says stuff like, bring her, bring her home, we really want her home. So, and that could be the reason why they weren't in a rush to go in. Like when you think about it, like if my 13-year-old kid is missing, I'm gonna turn this place upside down looking for my kid. If they didn't come home from the school bus, like I'm going to the school, like where what I'm saying? It's scary. It's a scary world. And they were just saying like, they just sat on the couch. They ain't do nothing. She ran errands. What errands did you run? Like it was just really bizarre on the things leading up to them looking for her. So another speculation is him saying that he took the plea. Let's be honest, y'all. A lot of people take plea deals. A lot of people cop out to charges, lesser charges, to get less time. They feel like they get a better deal. It might provide them that they don't have to do something else. It could be reasons why he took the plea. That doesn't necessarily mean that he did it. That doesn't necessarily mean that he did any of the things that he said, but he can say, I'm going to do this because I don't want to go to trial and I can get these lesser charges. So I'm just going to cop out to this because I know if I do go to trial, that means all you fear that I come forward, I might end up getting life in prison. I might end up getting this and that. I could potentially beat it. But seeing as, he still had to go to prison, maybe he making it easier on him on his time. So I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people plea out. A lot of people plea out to stuff that they didn't do. So we can't really, we're just speculation at this point. We don't know. We don't have a motive. He never came forward and said, this is why I did this. If he did it, this is why I did this, or whoever did it. This is why I did it. This is where she is. There's been no explanation. We've all been speculating based on what we think. We're trying to piece it together like a puzzle. What we really want is just complete and full justice for her. We probably won't get it in the way that we want, but at least he's going away. Just hopefully, they can get everybody else that was involved so that they can go away as well, for her to get complete and full justice. But at least he can't harm any more kids for at least 30 years. You know what I mean? He might not make it out of prison, but at least we get one more PDF off the freaking streets. He's ruining lives, man. He just ruined a whole bunch of people's lives. Not just from this, but just what he was doing to her. And it's just a really sad situation. And a lot of people don't understand that when you're in a vulnerable position, when you're in a vulnerable household, when you're in a toxic household, right? When you're in this vulnerable position as a little girl, and it's just so much chaos going on. All this stuff is going on. You want to run away. You don't want to be there. So much crazy. Your outlet might be school, where you can get away and have some sense of normalcy and be around people, but it's still going to be strange. You're going to gravitate towards certain things if certain things are happening in your life, right? So as a little girl, she's not getting the love that she wants. She's been abandoned by her parents. They are her doing drugs. You got Shannon over here, who's crazy. She got all these kids. Her grandma's got this stuff going on. It's a lot of generational curses inside this house. It's like a volcano waiting to explode. They don't care about her. She's a check. They probably treat her like crap because her mom is like this. Plus the mom is now gay, and then the daddy ain't been around, but he wasn't allowed around, even though he just didn't want to be there. He really didn't accept Na'ziyah because he had a wife, right? He had a wife. He wanted to keep her secret, and he stayed away instead of taking his daughter in and loving her. And any woman, how do you pick your wife over your daughter over a mistake that you made, right? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. She didn't have to love. You got a man come in who the aunt loves, nice looking guy, right? Doesn't matter if he's nice looking or not, but he starts showing her attention. Not good attention. It might start off like bringing her toys, bringing her something, being nice. Oh, I got your water gun. Here you go. Being nice to you, just trying to build that rapport to see that, like, hey, I'm friendly. You'll like me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to like me. Buying you little gifts, being nice to you, giving you high fives, wanting to say, oh, you want to go out to the movies? You want to do this? Being nice, like a nice guy, being charming, right? And then that is slowly materializing to, I wish I could kiss you. It's to see what your mindset is. Then he tries it. Then she goes and tells. She gonna tell. He tried to kiss me. He told me he was gonna do this when he gets you alone, right? And the person who's supposed to check him does nothing, right? Nothing. So it perpetuates, like you get confused. Your feelings start getting confused, especially you at that age and you're not being loved, and they start hugging on you and doing things like that. And then that progresses, and it's grooming, right? To the fact that to the point where he starts doing stuff to her, right? SA is horrible. It changes you, right? You start doing this, and she kind of gets used to it, to the point where she starts to look forward to it. Like it's not so bad anymore. She'll rather take that over what's going on in the household. It's kind of like an escape. It's not a horrible is what it should be to her anymore because she's been groomed, right? She start to look forward to it. She start to have a feelings attached to it to where she feel like she cares about this person and that he cares about her to where she's wishing that she can go live with this man. She start thinking about life, about oh, we can go have a baby, we can go move. And he may be promising her those things like, yes, I'm gonna get us a house, we're gonna move, we can have some kids, I'll take care of you, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It could be a whole thing, a whole imaginary mental thing to where she's gone off the deep end, right? And then he goes and do some stuff like that to her, man. And like I said, I don't know if he did or not. Almost we all feel some type of way that Shannon has something to do with this. Annette has something to do with this. Like they're complicit. It's a reason why the kids are running away. Not just Na'ziyah, Vari, whoever else, because these people don't care. It's already hard enough to protect your children and all of this stuff that we have out in the world. Like, it's strangers out here that's ready to pounce on your kids, right? Ready to message them on Roblox or something like that to where they can convince these kids that they care about them and they come and get them. It's a whole nother story when the monster's in the house. When the monster's familiar with the people, it's a whole nother story. A lot of that shit gets swept under the rug. A lot of it gets swept under the rug. That kind of stuff gets swept under the rug a lot. And instead of people facing it head on, they just let it perpetuate and then forget about it. And then the shame and the guilt and everything falls on Na'ziyah. She's the one, like, think about this. He's doing all these things to her, and they might know about it. You can't tell me they don't know. They allowed it. What kind of people allow kids to go with somebody that's been convicted of something like that? What's wrong with you? And then not only that, you put your kids in danger, you put the foster kids in danger, you put these kids in danger, you put the neighbors in danger, you put the kids at the school in danger because you're allowing this man to come pick these kids up from school, go to daddy-daughter dances, going to all these things, put your kids and other people's kids in danger. Now, he don't even have to go out and go snatch a kid off the street because they're giving him kids. There is no oversight. This man was allowed to roam around as a predator amongst bunches of kids. And these people are like, nothing's happened. Like what does it take? When is it going to register? Like, this is wrong. Nobody does anything, right? How do they have uncles? How does Annette have sons? And these men allowed this man to come in here and do stuff like this to these kids? Make me feel like they doing it too. It's like a whole cycle. It's just insane. So he did all of that, and he did all that to her. And then she's begging him for help because now all that guilt, all that pressure is on her. She has to bear that alone while he's at the shop with another victim or another one of his 5 or 6 girlfriends. She had to bear it alone. She had to put up with Shannon. She had to put up with Annette. She had to hide if she was hiding it. All of that on a little 13-year-old kid. It's terrifying. Okay? And it's just sick. You know what I'm saying? It's just a sick situation. I just hope they all, go away. Another story I'm checking out, which I hadn't even known about, I was just going down this thing, was Lori Page, where she was supposedly pregnant by her father, and he killed her. Yeah, and he red rummed her, and I'm still going on the case. So I got to go back and look. I'm still reading everything. But if you listen to his interrogation with the police, oh my God, he sounded like a regular person. Like, yeah, I don't know what happened. He's like a sociopath because even still they ask him questions. Well, I don't want to lie to y'all. The whole time he done did all that kind of stuff to this kid, man. She kept running away. Kid keep running away, man. Y'all need to do a deeper dive. Why is she running away? What is the issue? So many people that get failed. It's so sad. He did that to her, and he ended up having pulmonary embolism, a blood clot, in prison. 2 months. 36 years old. Yep. Maybe it was prison justice. That's what I'm hoping. But it just seemed really weird that he was okay this whole time. And then he went and was in jail for 2 months in prison. And all of a sudden he had pulmonary embolism. 36 years old. Okay. That's what the autopsy said. But we all can kind of like. So I guess we'll find out what happens with Jarvis when he goes to get sentenced, since he took the plea deal. He didn't really confess. He's saying that he dumped the body at Rouge River, whatever it is, River Rouge. But that was a place that they searched already. He could have just made it up. We don't know the stipulations of the plea deal, if they actually have to physically find her, if he has to tell them, if he has to make a truthful statement about the body of Na'ziyah. So I don't know if he has to tell them where she can be found, if he said or if whatever they're saying that he said is enough and they're going to be okay with it. In my mind, with the way this prosecution has handled stuff, they'll probably just accept that and keep it pushing, and that'll be whatever closure for the family, and they'll never get the full, closure. They'll never find her. Not that Annette and them care. They don't care. They don't care about her. They don't care about closure. They're never looking for her. They was out having a good time. Not to say you're supposed to just grieve forever. You shouldn't have to, but she was never put to rest. They really wasn't showing any type of emotion or care or anything, And what's kind of crazy is they took the kids away, and from Shannon and Annette. I'm not sure if Marquita's kids got taken. But they took the kids, and there's a possibility that those kids might be put back in their care, which is crazy because you didn't protect them. You didn't protect them. You actually neglected as neglect. It was very negligent. What happened with Na'ziyah? Negligent. And the simple fact that your daughter came out against her father for things he did to her, and you're going to put her back in the, like, after she couldn't tell when she was with you, that means like you were intimidating her. And now that she came out, she got to go back. Please don't put them kids back over there. And you can say whatever you want. They're going to be better in foster care. They might not be. They might be. But what's if their own mother put them at risk? It's insane. I just hope that the kids get, I'm worried about them more so than anything else, that they get some counseling, some help with what they experienced, what they witnessed, the loss of their cousin, the loss of being away from their family, away from their parents. Everything has changed for them ever since this happened, and it's tough. So I don't have no sympathy towards Shannon, Annette, Marquita. I feel like they all had something to do with it. You can go back through all those lives. You can listen to the mediums. You can do all of that. It's so much information that it'll make your head spin. It'll make your head spin if you just listen to everything and try to decipher. But I'm not sure what my opinion is overall. I do feel like that they're all complicit, all complicit in this. But, we will get some sentencing going on, and I think it's mid-March he'll be sentenced. Maybe we'll hear more. It does seem like a gut punch that we won't have a chance to hear the testimony and go through the trial. That's what we was all anticipating and waiting for. But at least, we'll get some little bit of justice where he's going to go to prison, which we know he was going to go to prison anyway. We'll get a little bit of justice from that, but we'll see what happens when that happens. And then we'll see if they actually decide to bring charges against Shannon, Annette, Marquita, and whoever else. I'm not sure who else can be complicit. Maybe the school. They might be able to sue the school. They might be able to sue the police department. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna, like, if you want to go back to Mark D's, he covered it. But I like Mark D. I liked his lives, but the other day he made a comment on somebody. He made a comment on his Facebook post about some man. It was like, oh, that's why your 13-year-old daughter be over here with these grown men. It just rubbed me the wrong way. So now I don't really watch his content or watch his page anymore, because I like, how you fighting for kids that were being marginalized and traumatized, and then you go say some stuff like that. It was weird. So I'm not gonna really pay attention to him anymore. But I do listen to like a lot of different content creators. I like to I will listen to Miss Parker and Shank Rock, because they will bring people on there. But yeah, look up Lori Page too. Lori Page is that's a hard one. I'm gonna go through that. And I want to find trials that I want to go through and sit through, because the whole thing I was going to do was stream the trial, and yeah, and that didn't work out, so can't stream that now. That's what I was going to plan on doing. And yeah, I was planning on, like, streaming the trial every day until it was over. It was supposed to be back a month, at least for a month or two. But yeah, since that's not going to happen, I guess we'll have to wait till next month to find out the sentencing. So I'll see you guys later. If anything else comes up, I will be back.